Phyllis Galante loved her country, but she never imagined herself a national hero. From her earliest childhood, she loved plays and musicals, but she never thought of herself a theatrical leader. In a remarkable life that was full of bravery and change and surprises, she became both, and in so doing, changed our world.
Mom and Dad originally met in Ankara, Turkey, where both of their fathers were deployed as Army colonels.
Mom thought Dad was the biggest jerk in the world when she first met him. She was a camp counselor there, and the first meeting with the Galante boys, Dave and Paul, and Mom was Dad's brother, Dave, cutting down Mom's tents, and she was not very happy about that.
Dad eventually came back stateside to go to Valley Forge Military Academy, and then ultimately to go to the Naval Academy in Annapolis. Mom came back with her family when her father was deployed to Fort Meade, just outside of Annapolis.
So fast forward to Christmas of 1962, Dad gets down on one knee and proposes to Mom. They get married the following year, August of 1963. Dad was deployed shortly thereafter, and as we all know, June 17, 1966, he was shot down on his 97th combat mission.
On June 17, 1966, Paul Galante took off in his A-4 Skyhawk to conduct a bombing run in North Vietnam. During the raid, his plane was heavily damaged by enemy fire. With no control over the aircraft, Paul was forced to bail out of his plane. By nature, Phyllis was shy and introverted. When frustrated by the lack of information about her husband, Phyllis became bold. She and several friends grew active in the National League of Families of Prisoners and Missing in Southeast Asia. Phyllis eventually became chairwoman of the league. In Richmond, Phyllis was part of a campaign to raise awareness of the plight of the Vietnam prisoners of war. Those efforts were the most successful of many such campaigns. On Paul's return, he found the shy wife he had married wasn't quite so shy after all. But despite their notoriety, they found time to settle into a new life in Richmond. Their two boys, Jamie and Jeff, were born soon after. However, it wasn't too long until Phyllis found a new cause.
Anyway, Phyllis was really into acting, and she got into it big time as a spectator, not as a performer. And when she was asked to join the board of Theater 4, it was a no-brainer. And she didn't say yes to a lot of stuff, but she loved every second she was with Theater 4. And Theater 4 now, which has morphed into Virginia Rep, she loved everything they did, from the kids' plays to all the way up to some really heavy Broadway stuff that was Broadway quality. She loved every single second of it that she was with Theater 4. When they were doing Hugs and Kisses, when I first heard about that, I thought, good grief, that's going to really be kind of tacky. And Phil said, no, it's not. I said, they really have done this well. And I said, if she likes it, there must be something to it. Then I saw the play performed a couple of times, and it was really wonderful. And she was in love with Theater 4 from the time she got into it, whatever. And I think she turned into the world's biggest groupie for a whole theater group.
You know, when she had an argument with her brother Tom, my uncle, my grandfather, Colonel Easton, would give them boxing gloves and tell them to figure it out themselves. So she was prepared for any sort of, she could take it as well as give it. You know?
No matter who she was talking to, she always made that person feel like they were the most important person in the room. She always had enough time to finish a conversation. She would never have to kind of speed through a meeting with someone. And she really had a special way of making people feel important.
For 35 years, Phyllis Galante worked tirelessly to connect the theater she loved to the men and women of our nation's armed services and to children throughout Virginia and the nation. Hugs and Kisses, the groundbreaking child sexual abuse prevention program that she helped champion, taught parents around the world how to talk with their children about this vital subject. And in so doing, it is still today saving countless lives. In recognition of her life of servant leadership, her life of courage and commitment, her life of love and honor, please join us as we present Virginia Rep's highest honor, the Founders Award, posthumously to an American treasure, Phyllis Galante.